Hi guys, back with another video. I'm going to talk about something that I think needs to be addressed. And some of you, it might even ruffle your feathers, but I'm still going to say it as a PSA announcement for people that want to listen and want to hear, especially if you're concerned about your health, if you're concerned about your hair. But um, wigs, weaves, extensions, sew-ins, etc. do not grow in your hair. Yeah, I said it. It is a myth that these products grow your hair. Your hair will grow despite using these products. And that's just a testament to the human body, how wonderful the human body is designed. That's a testament to that. That despite basically filling your body and putting products that are known to contain carcinogens, poisons, formaldehyde, hormone disruptors, and etc. That's a testament to the human body that you can put that on your scalp and your hair will still grow. But I say this because I'm here on social media because of what I do, and I'm seeing something that I've never seen before in 20, 30 years. And that's the amount of, or the frequency of hair loss, baldness, bald patches, um, no hairline. Hairline is gone. And what I have discovered is that the commonality are these products: the weaves, the sew ins, the lace fronts, the glues, um, the wigs. Uh, I'm seeing, I'm wondering if anyone besides me is making the connection between using these products and suffering such devastating hair loss. And I see this over and over and over again. This is not something that I've seen before. This is not normal. And it's also said or disguised as alopecia. I have alopecia. I'm hearing that every other video, every other hair video where I see a woman sitting in the hairdresser's chair with um, a lot of hair loss, with widespread hair loss, widespread baldness, with stunted hair growth. I'm hearing alopecia. Now, I have no doubt that alopecia exists. Um, I have no doubt about that. That is an autoimmune disorder, alopecia. That's an autoimmune disorder. That's an internal disorder. But I cannot ignore, or I can't dismiss the commonality with a lot of women that are using these products and are suffering hair loss. I cannot ignore the common denominator when I see such devastating hair loss. Okay. And another thing that connected to that bothers me is when I see hairdressers continue to use these products on these women that have such widespread hair loss. And I know that most of these hairdressers are, they're artists. They're artists. They're good at their craft. There is no question that they are good at what they do. But I can't help but feel like you have an obligation to your customer, especially if this is not permanent hair loss. If you're noticing thinning hair, if you're noticing this, while there is still time, while there is still a chance that you can reverse this or do something about it. If you notice this, I think it's unethical to continue to use these products, even though they are causing such devastating hair loss. I think you can go for a time using these products, but over time, you'll notice that the follicle will become damaged. The hair will become thinner. The hair that's sprouting out of the follicles will become thinner and finer, and then until the follicle just doesn't produce any more hair, until the follicle actually dies. And then once the follicle dies, your only other option is a hair transplant. So I think hairdressers and stylists do have an ethical or even moral obligation to advise their clients about this. Now, I'm not sure, okay, I'm going to say too, I'm not sure if the hairstylists have made the connection between the two. I'm not really sure about that. I can't really say for sure, for certainty, that they've made the connection already. Some might just genuinely be wanting to help. I could see that too. But once you know, if you see this and if you recognize this, I think that you have an obligation to tell your client that this might be the root cause of the hair loss. Not all hair loss is caused internally, like by a hormonal imbalance or an inflammatory response in the body, like alopecia. Not all hair loss is caused by that. Some hair loss is caused by what you are using in your hair in terms of shampoo, conditioner, extensions, wigs, and so on. It's external. That's what I'm trying to say. Some of the hair loss is caused by external, what you do on the outside of your scalp. And I do believe that these products that are marketed to Black women, Black Americans, and African women, we are the consumers. I shouldn't say we because I don't use those products, but our community of women are the consumers of these products. There have been there's actually a program on here, right here on YouTube, where this man, and I'm so grateful that he did this video, but it's an investigation, and he went to the head office or the headquarters, I think it was somewhere in New Jersey, to speak to the head of one of these hair brands. I can't remember what type of hair it was, if it was Kanekalon or that type of hair or another brand. But anyway, he went to one of these brands to talk to him, to ask him, why do you not list your ingredients? Why don't you list them on your products? If you notice, it'll tell you how beautiful you're going to look, but it will not tell you what the product actually is. And he asked him point blank, why are you not listing uh, the ingredients on the product so that the consumer will know? And the executive basically dodged the question. He said that he would get back to him, and he never did. So clearly, and I knew this before, but clearly these companies know, they knowingly put these chemicals in the products. They know what's in the products. They don't want you to know because they're protecting their business. They are ensuring that you keep buying their products. And another way, in my opinion, that they ensure that you buy the products is by, again, they knowingly put these chemicals in the products. So they know that these products are not healthy for Black women or even the children that are using these products, the consumers. They know. But I firmly believe that they do that. The way that they protect their business too is to guarantee or to make sure that that hair follicle slowly dies. The hair follicle becomes damaged. The hair will not grow anymore. It dies, and then there's baldness. So now you have to go and use these products. You cannot tell me that they don't know that benzene, for example, that they don't know that that's not a good thing to put in their products. But I'm going to list some of the chemicals. You could do a quick Google search. I'm going to list some of the chemicals that are in these products. That's why I say your hair will grow despite using these products, but it'll grow for a time, and eventually the production will slow down. Now, the key is to catch it before it becomes permanent. Okay, before it becomes permanent, there's still hope. But once it becomes permanent, that's it. Okay, so I have my notes here so that I don't miss anything. But this is according to Consumer Reports. excuse me, that synthetic hair is processed using these chemicals. What that means is you cannot wash this out. It's in the fibers. It's processed using these chemicals. It's not just on the surface. It's um, the whole product is made up of these chemicals, okay? Numerous chemical additives and contaminants, including well-known carcinogens, okay, like benzene, methyl chloride, chloroform. They're all linked to various cancers. There's no coincidence that our community has the highest mortality rate um, when diagnosed with these cancers. Our community has the highest mortality rate. Okay, so these chemicals are circulating throughout our system. Once you put it on your scalp, there's no barrier. Your scalp is porous. That means whatever, and your skin, if it's on your neck or whatever, you're just absorbing those chemicals. It's going through your skin and into your bloodstream, and you're just absorbing those chemicals when you are using these products, okay? Heavy metals, even such as lead. There is no safe amount of lead um, to consume or be exposed to. No safe amount, okay? Lead, cadmium, chromium, volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. Those are emitted as gases. Like when during the install, when the hair is heated, that's what's coming off of the fibers. The hair extension fibers is these volatile organic compounds. And also during styling with a curling iron. So when you take it home and you're styling it, you're being exposed to these chemicals. They have flame retardants. Uh, these are used to make the fibers less flammable, but it's it's associated with neurotoxicity. That's your brain. It's associated with neurotoxicity, your nervous system. Um, yeah, and other adverse side effects. It's also the flame retardants are also known as endocrine disruptors. Your whole endocrine system, your thyroid, and so on are impacted by these chemicals. Okay, so you might think, well, okay, that's the synthetic hair. What about the human hair? Nope, human hair is bad too. First of all, where do they source the human hair from? Where do they get them from? Um, I've even heard something as sinister as the hair can come from corpses. So if that is true, which I doubt that it's not true, but if it is true, how do they disinfect the hair? How do they clean the hair? They use chemicals. Okay, they use formaldehyde, or maybe the formaldehyde's already in the hair before they source the hair. That's another possibility when you are embalming a corpse or a dead body. They use formaldehyde. Maybe that's how it gets into the hair. Um, that's just don't that's just my own personal feeling that maybe, but also it might be added uh, deliberately. It's used as a smoothing treatment, but it's not going to be listed as formaldehyde. If you see DMDM Hydantoin, Hydantoin, DMDM in front, that's code for formaldehyde. Okay, once water touches that chemical, it creates formaldehyde. But they're not going to say, and that's in shampoos too, by the way, as a preservative. It's not going to say formaldehyde because guess what? You're not going to buy it if it says formaldehyde. These companies are going to lose money. So they're I want to say sinister. They're sinister. They're smart, right? But mostly sinister to do something like that. But they don't list formaldehyde. They list it as a code, DMDM Hydantoin, which is listed as a quote probable human carcinogen. Okay, So that's what's in the human hair. Also, they coat it with silicone, for that shine and everything else. Silicone again. I personally don't even cook with silicone or use anything silicone because I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And I don't want that in my system as well. Any silicone materials, So I definitely avoid that. But again, you can do your research. Let's not use these products. Let's embrace our natural hair. Let's not relegate our natural hair to being under these products. Our natural hair is put aside and these products are front and center. So let's dig deep to find out exactly why do we do that. Um, I'll do another video about that. And I'll also do a video about how can we take care once we see the damage, once you've decided I'm not using those extensions, weaves, wigs anymore. I have to give attention now, tend to my natural hair, which I would highly, highly, highly encourage. Once you do that, then there are ways that you can nourish your hair from the inside out, from the outside in, so that you can have the best possible outcome. Okay, and I would always say, mothers, don't use these products on your babies. Don't put these products in your baby's hair. If you have to go with an extension, I would use something like a Brazilian wool. Or there's a woman in Africa that she makes hair extensions from banana fibers. I would do that before I would use these poisonous chemicals. And these extensions and these hair products that are marketed to Black women or women in that are in the U.S. or in Africa, they're not made by Black women. They're manufactured in China. So you have to question, why are these chemicals being put into our products? They're not using them. We are. So again, something to think about, guys. Do your research. Um, I'm not so sure if a lot of women have made the connection, like I said before, because this is normalized. This isn't even questioned. If you're going to get your hair done, if you're going to get braids, and so on, this is normal, But again, like what I've said, I've never seen so much alopecia ever, ever, as in these past few years. So there has to be a connection. There's a definite connection because of, again, what are these fibers? What are they really? Again, there's a reason why you won't, when you get the bundle, you look at the back, it's not going to tell you what's in it. And you have a right to know before you use these products. At least make an informed decision to use them. Okay, but that's it for today's video. Hope that you found it helpful. Again, I may have ruffled some feathers, but I think that this needs to be addressed. I think that this needs to be addressed because we as a community are suffering because of these products. So again, I hope that you found this video helpful, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.